The country of Nepal is still assessing how much it'll cost to rebuild after a massive earthquake. More importantly, more than 7,300 people died in that April 25th quake. More than 14,000 were injured. The nation has also seen major damage to homes and buildings. A lot of Americans have seen that devastation and they want to help, and that is a good thing, of course. While there are many legitimate charities stepping up to help, there are, of course, scammers trying to take advantage of your generosity. And joining us with some ways to make sure charities are legit is Kimberly Hazen with the Better Business Bureau. So Kimberly, first off, there are some legitimate charities out there, right?
Absolutely. You know, we've got, CARE USA, Humane Society International, UNICEF.
American Red Cross.
American Red Cross, of course. Those are actual charities that are on the ground in Nepal with relief services there. So.
And they meet your criteria at the Better Business Bureau.
Yeah, so give.org is an is our website that you can actually plug in. And I think you did.
Yeah, I checked it out. I went there. It's great. You go to give.org and you can put the name of the charity. And what kind of stuff can people find out about?
Yeah, so unlike the BBB.org website, we don't rate charities A+ to F like businesses. We actually look at the charitable giving standards that we have. You know, does their board meet regularly? Is there a certain percentage of your giving that actually gets to the mission statement rather than just, 90% of your funds going to more fundraising? So things like that. So that's what we look at.
And we've put a link to give.org under news links at NBC15.com. Okay, so we're going to go to a full screen here that has a number of other precautions that you suggest that we need to take, and we see it there.
So be careful of, I know we've all seen it in our Facebook feed, all the different ways to give. Just about anybody can get a Facebook ad, and just about anybody could do it, so it doesn't necessarily mean they're a charity. So you want to make sure that if you want to give to the American Red Cross, go to the American Red Cross website and donate from there. You also want to look things up at give.org, because that's a good way to assess how much of your donation goes. If you're okay with 90% of it going to more fundraising and only 10 cents of every dollar going to somebody in Nepal, then that's a choice you can make, but you should have that information.
Okay.
Yeah, and then also, be wary of any claim that 100% of it is going to the victims, because that's really, really efficient management. I don't know how they would be able to do that.
Any charity has administrative costs,
right? And you want to look for charities that are on the ground and there. And also, the thing that people really love, we love to send food and clothing and things like that. That may not be the most efficient way to give. At this point, cash is always easy, fast, and travels lightly. So
yeah, it's important, and we're certainly not discouraging you from giving, because there are many valid charities out there doing wonderful work in Nepal. But just be sure you do your homework. Kimberly Hazen, Better Business Bureau. Great advice as always, and do your homework, check it out, and give if you can. They really do need our help.